Good evening. I now call this General Committee meeting to order. As you can tell, I'm not Mayor Nuttall. He's feeling under the weather. And as you can see, some of our staff are too. So we hope everybody gets well soon. This meeting is being held in person and electronically in accordance with the Municipal Act. The first thing is the consent agenda. For the consent items, I will read the title associated to the recommended motion printed on the agenda. Members of the committee may ask an item be held to discuss further. If an item is not held, the motion will be deemed approved on consent for no further discussion on the item and will take place at the general committee, and the recommended motion will go forward to the next city council meeting for consideration. So the first thing is reference and advisory special committees. We have one, the Affordability Committee for January 8th. I'll read out the associated items. 5.2 is the CSC1 grant applications. That is approved. Second is 5.3, the reports of finance and good governance. FG1, Sea Cadets, use of General John Hayter South Shore Community Center. That is approved. FRG2, an amendment to the procurement procedural bylaw. 2019-100. That is approved. FRG3, committee updates. That is approved. Sorry, we're just going to go back to CSC1 grant applications. Sorry, I was moving a little bit too quick. Councillor Harris?
I was a bit too slow. Deputy Mayor Thompson, thank you. Out of abundance of caution, I'll declare a potential conflict on this item. I'm connected to an application involved in that funding. So out of abundance of caution, I'll keep myself out of that item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Harris. Madam Clerk, is Councillor Harris's pecuniary interest been noted?
Yes, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you. My apologies. Next is FRG4, licensing of Watersports.
Hold.
Held by Councillor Corser. So staff reports, we'll move into that. So DEV 003-25.
Hold, please.
Held by Councillor Kungle. Next is EMT 001-25, 2025 Business and Budget of Service Partners. Approved on consent. We have one item for discussion. 8.1 is support for county funding. Approved on consent. Now we'll go back to the two items that were held. I believe the first item was held by Councillor Corser, and it is...
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Sorry, Councillor Morales.
So sorry, this is on me, not on you. You went through all the way to the bottom of the staff reports?
Yeah.
Did I miss? My apologies. I meant to hold DEV 003-25. My apologies. Oh, you already held it.
You didn't miss it. You were just being a team player.
Yeah, team.
That's it.
You should talk for me.
FRG4, licensing water sports. Councillor Corser?
Yeah, I just have a couple of questions about this because I've been receiving questions myself. Sorry, yes, may I put the motion on the floor as printed? Yes, I just have a couple of questions, I guess, through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to, I guess, I don't know if a legal staff would be the one I would be approaching on this. Is the reason we are unable to, we don't have the power as a municipality to stop this water sports business on our waterfront if it's not touching shore. Is that correct?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser, that's going to be part of the investigation that staff does when we do the staff report to see what our actual authority is along the waterfront. Staff has started to do some investigation, but we obviously aren't ready to report back yet because this motion hasn't been approved by council. But we have started looking at this and seeing what our authority is. And if for some reason we don't have any authority, we will include that in the staff report.
Just one more question, if I may. Will the investigation into this, does this take into account the water traffic and the residents that, or visitors that may be using our waterfront, swimming or scuba diving or whatever they may be doing, kite boarding? Because there is a lot of traffic down at our waterfront, and I'm just wondering if that will be, that busyness of our water will be taken into account in this report.
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser. Yes, that would be taken into account as part of the report. Maybe as part of the licensing regime or bylaw changes that we may make. We would probably provide some parameters to where these motorized vehicles could operate on the waterfront so they wouldn't disrupt the beach area or areas like that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I call the vote. And it is approved. The next item that was held was DV003-25. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. I'll put the motion as printed on the floor, and I'm looking to refer it to the March 26th Finance and Responsible Governance Committee.
A referral motion is non-debatable. I will call the question. Call the vote. Approved. I believe that is all the items that were held. So now that will take us into inquiries. Anybody have inquiries of staff? Councilor Morales.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. But I believe this would be for Ms. Cook. Ms. Cook, my apologies. This organically came up today, but I know we've talked about it casually recently. Do you know what the latest is in terms of potential implementation for the City of Barrie to adopt red light cameras? Very different than school zone or automated speed enforcement cameras in school zones. I'm just wondering, just because red light incidents are non-scientifically, through my observation, becoming more of a concern.
Through you, Councillor Morales. Through you, Deputy Mayor, to Councillor Morales. Staff would need direction to look into the implementation of red light cameras because we would have to set them similarly up as we did the ASC program. It would cost, there would be budget allocated required to purchase the red light cameras or lease the red light cameras, as well as implement the program. And through the MTO and under the Highway Traffic Act, we would require council approval to implement such a program.
Thank you. Just as a follow-up, through Deputy Mayor Thompson, isn't there something, and I'm speaking in very layman terms here in terms of policy, so my apologies if I'm being over reductive, but just the way with the automated school zone cameras where we had to wait for legislation and different processes because we don't have the Toronto Act, we have the Municipal Act, so we're governed under different rules, and it took all those years. You know, if people are wondering, Barrie didn't have them until we had them, and then you drove to other municipalities and they also had them very quick. So is there something that we're waiting for specifically for red light cameras, or is the only not, I don't want to call it obstacle, is the only change that we would be waiting for is council direction, and that's it?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Morales. At this point in time, we would be waiting for a council direction to ask us to look into it and probably provide a report back, because council would probably want to see the cost to implement the program. And we would require, again, council approval to implement any such program. And again, it will probably take some timelines to implement such a program, because there is some approvals required through the MTO.
Thank you very much.
Seeing no more inquiries, we'll move to announcements. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. I have two announcements. The first is just encouraging the public, if you can, we have Legion 147 in Ward 3 in the City of Barrie is actually looking for the public's input around identifying veterans from World War II for potential consideration to up to 20 banners that they're looking to get sponsorship for to add recognition. If you do have social media or able to reach out to the Legion, if you have a connection to a local World War II veteran, some individuals have been posted. I will take some information to Heritage Committee on Tuesday, but they do have some individuals they're hoping, one, for families that might have photos for consideration, and then two, to also look at identifying individuals of interest where families might still love to see a loved one considered. If you're not sure who to go to, please don't hesitate to contact me and I'll help to facilitate that with a Legion. The second announcement is, I think I'm getting the handoff, thank you, Deputy Mayor, because of my relationship to the society, but that the Mayor kindly and the Mayor's office have prepared a proclamation that I'd like to share, and on behalf of Mayor Alex Nuttall, that we're proclaiming January 2025 as National Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Whereas Alzheimer's disease and related dementias affect over 500,000 Canadians, including an increasing number under the age of 65. And this number is expected to surpass 1 million within a generation if action is not taken. And women who are disproportionately affected, and these illnesses place a significant emotional and economic burden on families and caregivers. And the Alzheimer's Society of Simcoe County provides essential support, education, and advocacy for those living with dementia, their caregivers, and families, fostering a more compassionate community. And there is currently no known cure for Alzheimer's disease, making it vital to raise awareness, promote brain health, and advocate for the resources needed to address this growing public health challenge. Therefore, on behalf of Mayor Alex Nuttall, we do hereby proclaim January 2025 as National Alzheimer's Awareness Month in the City of Barrie. And to speak to that briefly, thank you. You'll see Meridian Square lit up in blue next week, the last week of January. Letting up blue to raise awareness, many agencies across Simcoe County and Barrie in general, so thank you to the library, St. Lauren and Chambers, the McLaren Arts Centre, and others that are taking training on being dementia friendly. And as we do and provide that free training to reach out for resources, we're supporting a more inclusive community. And so if you know of anyone that's needing support, by all means, free resources around Simcoe County, but also across Ontario. So anyone watching, if you could please help to connect individuals to resources and making sure that they're not hesitating before they think they need help to reach out. So thank you for that. Thank you for the proclamation to the Mayor's office. And that's all I have for announcements.
Thank you. Councillor Corser.
Well, I don't think anyone needs to be reminded this week that it is winter and there's a few events happening at Sunnydale Park over the next month. The first one I'd like to talk about is snowshoeing in the park. This is an RSVP event, so you do need to register. Explore the park on a snowshoeing adventure through the forest during one of the guided tours happening this winter. Join us to discover local flora, fauna, and natural history of the park with stops along a scenic loop. Hosted by Sojourn, and it's for ages 8 and up. And to register, you can phone 705-739-4220 at extension 4938, or you can go to the City of Barrie website and check out the events. And the second event that we're having in Sunnydale Park is Saturday, February 15th from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. It will be Sunnydale Park and the Dorian Parker Center. Come celebrate Family Day weekend by stepping outside and enjoying the natural beauty of Barrie. Hopefully it'll be warmer that day. Join wildlife enthusiast Jason George for an engaging and interactive presentation. Take advantage of the Barrie Public Library's Library of Things and participate in a variety of indoor and outdoor activities. You can also stay cozy by the fire while exploring the nature trailer. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Corser. Any other announcements? I have a couple. Citizens applications are being accepted for the Senior and Accessibility Advisory Committee. The application deadline is January 31st, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. For more information, email appoint@barrie.ca or visit barrie.ca/committee and task force. Celebrate the winter season at this year's Winterfest happening the weekend of February 1st and 2nd, 2025. This event will take place at Centennial Park and the Will Dryer Park, with our partner programming continuing at a variety of venues throughout the community. For more information, visit barrie.ca/winterfest. Hello Winter celebrates the city winter spirit all month long, participating in outdoor arts, culture, and community events throughout the month of February, featuring activities, locations throughout the community, such as the February Blues Festival. For more information, visit barrie.ca/hello-winter. We will now move to the circulation list. Are there any comments regarding items on the circulation list dated January 15th, 2025? Seeing none. January 22, 2025. Councillor Harris.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Just maybe quickly, through you, if I could ask a question to Ms. Banfield. Ms. Banfield, I know we've both noticed the memo that you have on, which is A3250122, and it was the response from provincial government on the CHIA and MZO application. So maybe just to help people refresh, because I know that application is a very important one for our city, and also one that's been taking a different tour than general with the application going to the CHIA MZO. What if you just give us a little bit of a reset on where we are in that process? I think everybody would kind of benefit from a reset as we consume this new information. Thank you.
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Harris. So this project has had a few renditions that have gone through the public planning process at the City of Barrie. So most recently, there was a public meeting. Staff did provide technical comments, and this was back some time ago, and probably about a year and a half or so ago. And the applicant at that point decided to approach council to ask the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to approve a community infrastructure and housing accelerator program. So council did that. In the meantime, kind of almost as soon as that request went in, some planning legislation changed, and that the CHIA was no longer an option, and so the only option then was a minister's zoning order. So, which at the end of the day, the tool, or whether it's approved through the Community Infrastructure Housing and Accelerator Program or an MZO, at the end of the day, the issue would have been that the land use would have been decided by the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. So we did hear back that the minister did not approve the MZO to establish the land use planning principles on the property, and suggested that the best path forward would be to process it through the municipal planning process, that many applications in the City of Barrie follow the process. So at this point, that's essentially where we are. We're going to pick up the municipal planning process with the applicant. They have recently just done a resubmission of their plans and drawings. We expect that the website, as always, as we always update it, we expect that'll happen in the next couple days. If I would suspect it'll be done before the end of the week. We will circulate and formulate all the comments and look to bring a planning report forward for council's consideration, as we do for other planning applications. Very long explanation, but it's actually quite a unique situation for this particular property.
Yeah, thank you. That's most helpful, I think, for many people, just to kind of reset on where we are with that really important application. And I also noticing that with the school board, the two school boards being interested in property on that site, a letter's been sent to Minister Dunlop to help with sorting that issue out, and so that's been done. I can see that. With that noted, Deputy Mayor Thompson, I'd like to refer this item A3-250122 to the March 19th Affordability Committee.
As you are aware, a referral is non-debatable. I'll call the vote. Approved. Councillor Corser.
Yeah, Section C, the general correspondence, C1 250122, the media release dated January 2025, entitled City of Barrie announces transition of Mayor's Task Force into Permanent Executive Committee. I just wanted to, through you, Deputy Mayor, I wanted to ask, I guess, the clerk's office a couple of questions regarding the new committee.
Go ahead.
And thank you. So this is from the transition from the Mayor's Task Force into this committee. The Mayor's Task Force did not have any public-facing or members of council that were not on the task force. They did not receive minutes or agenda items of the Mayor's Task Force. I'm just wondering, as a transition to the Permanent Executive Committee, if there will be public agenda items and minutes of these meetings made public for public to see.
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser. Yes, agendas and minutes will be published on the website as per all the other reference committees. The executive committee is just essentially going to be another reference committee of council. So agendas and minutes will be published. Any recommendations coming from the executive committee will flow through the process, such as the other reference committees coming to general, going to council for final approval. The meetings will be open to the public, except if there's a confidential item to be discussed, as in any other meeting, that would be under closed session. And so it will be treated like a reference committee.
Okay, if I could follow up on that. So because there is quorum on this committee, it means that that other council members will be able to voice the questions will be open to the floor to other council members because it is being treated like any other advisory committee? Or, sorry, any other committee? Reference committee? Thank you.
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser. Yes, there is a quorum of the committee, or a quorum of council that sits on the committee, but as noted, the committee members only have a total of 5 votes, as the mayor is not a voting member, he's just the chair. And the 2 members of Affordability are counted as 1 vote as the committee. And again, since it's treated like a reference committee, any items would be up for questions by other members of council.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And I guess the last question I have on this is, I noticed that this was under executive order by the strong mayor powers. This was under strong mayor powers. And I was wondering, because the media release never stated that, if it was legally, I thought that it was legal obligated to state that if it was a strong mayor's, a direction of strong mayors.
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser. No, the media release can just tell it's a decision that it's been struck. It doesn't have to state that it was a decision of council or the mayor. And the mayor, under strong mayor's powers, has the ability or the authority to create committees that are fully composed of members of council.
Oh, and just one more, if I may, just to follow up on that. So I know that some directions of the straw mayors have to be legally posted, if I'm correct. And so would this follow under that category, or is this a different beast altogether because it's a committee as opposed to a bigger decision?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Corser. All strong mayor decisions and directions to staff have to be made public. They are posted on the website. Sometimes it's not immediately right after. It's maybe within a day or so, just depending on when we can get it posted. But under the Municipal Act, the clerk is required to circulate the orders and, the strong mayor decisions and directions to members of council.
Okay, thank you very much for the information.
Councilor Morales?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Just following up to the clerk on the previous subject of questioning. Ms. Cook, it's my understanding, and if I get it wrong, I think it's just good timing. I could have sent you an email. I think it's good timing with the discussion. It's my understanding that the procedural bylaw for reference committees doesn't require doesn't afford non-members of the reference committee to speak. That would apply to non-members of reference committee who are counselors who are in attendance. My understanding is I kind of started doing that when I became chair of reference committees, just as a practice. And in the procedural bylaw, the chair can make rulings and decisions on that. So I just wanted to bring that up and ask in the form of a question. Is my understanding correct? Because I just want, just because I kind of started doing some reference committees, and I'm really glad to see other counselors who chair other reference committees do that when the time allows it to the letter of the law and the procedure bylaw. It's my understanding that it doesn't necessarily afford that to non-standing members unless it's the chair's discretion. Would that be a correct interpretation?
Through you, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Morales. For this term of council, we've allowed the chairs to have the discretion on whether or not a member of council can speak at a reference committee. This term of council has been, frankly, very different because most members of council attend the reference committee meetings, where in previous terms, that has not always been the case. It's always just been the members who have been on the reference committees attending those reference committee meetings. So we've allowed a little bit of latitude with the chairs to allow those non-voting members to speak at the meeting. And we certainly are looking at tidying that up in the procedural bylaw as we have a few amendments to make. So
perfect. So at chair's discretion, essentially, right? As it stands now, prior to tidying up and.
Through you, Councillor Morales, yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Sorry, Deputy Mayor Thompson, to Councillor Morales, yes.
Thank you, Ms. Cook. I just want to clarify. I love the fact that people attend reference committees that they're not on. I don't think this is going to change anything. I just wanted to get clarity because, Councillor Corser asked really good questions now, and if we get told, I just wanted it to be abundantly clear, and then there's an opportunity anyways to do housekeeping either way. So thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Councilor Morales. That leads us to an adjournment. This completes general committee meeting. General committee is adjourned. Thank you.